Okay, mothers, I only have a few minutes, so I'm gonna jump on here real quick. So I'm on this journey to grow this audience so that we can reach mothers all across nations, okay? So I want you to click subscribe right now. I want you to watch this video, like it, comment, and please share it with another mother or another woman is what I'm trying to say, because this is one of the ways that we reach mothers all across nations that are struggling with these turbulent relationships with their adult children. So my goal is to help you as mothers to move forward in your life, your calling, and your purpose while allowing God to do the heavy lifting in the relationships with you and your adult children, the things that you cannot control. Now let's get into this video, okay? So I've been watching more politic conversations lately. Probably too much, but we're not gonna make that point at this very moment, okay? So by me watching it, it's allowed me to see in real time the things we deal with, like in day-to-day life. And it's actually been an eye-opener for certain. Now, this is not a conversation about politics. So go ahead and get those wrinkles out of your forehead and you can relax, all right? This is a conversation about accountability that we deal with daily in our day-to-day lives. Like whether it's a client, a family member, a spouse, a friend, ourselves, come on, our adult children, that's included in family, but you know what I'm trying to say. So one of the most telling signs of a person's behavior, character, or integrity, if we will, is, oh, but wait, let me give you this short blurb about integrity and what it implies, all right? It's being honest and having moral and ethical principles on a consistent basis, even when it's hard or inconvenient for us to do so. Okay? All right. So now let's get back to the science. I was talking. So like when they're taking offense, and you're easily taking offense to things that are said to you, right? That's kind of the best way to put it. So now this isn't from a random person or someone that is your enemy. You're talking about someone that you are in communication with on a trust level, if you will. It could be a family member, like I said, it could be a spouse, it could be a coach, it could be a therapist, a few other things it could be. The point is, it's not someone that's trying to harm you or tear you down in any way. Most times when a person takes offense, it's it's not because they're being attacked, okay? But because accountability feels very threatening in a way to them. And if you happen to make the error of pointing it out that they're offended, they will deny that as well, all while reacting from a place of offense. Okay? You know the things like things that said like, well, what about you? They can say things like, we can talk about what you say, what you do. I don't want to hear it. I believe that you believe what everybody else is saying. You're bringing awareness, something to their attention to encourage growth or explain how their actions cause harm or hurt to another. They don't want to hear that. You're not trying to argue. You're genuinely trying to create understanding. But it feels like you're walking on eggshells, trying not to offend, even though nothing you're saying is offendable. But instead, self reflection is what you're trying to get from them. They take offense. The raised voices, defensive emotional escalations, or the ultimate complete shutdown that happens. And let me just say this sometimes I believe I hear you to say this doesn't work with some people and personalities. I'm just saying, okay? Something I always joke about with my mom and my aunt, when they're talking about something that has gotten them kind of ruffled or under their skin, they say things like, why are they doing this? Or why would they make that type of decision? And I have this moment where I say in a serious yet laughing voice, we cannot make sense of the senseless, so don't try. I also say you're trying to understand the mind that doesn't work like yours. As women, or as a woman for myself who has been living for many years now, I have looked in the mirror and self-reflected for myself constantly and watched and lived through other people's behaviors. Here's what I've learned. When a person cannot take accountability, offense becomes the shield for them. Because if they don't get offended, they may have to look inwardly. And for some people, self examination feels more painful than the conflict. Okay? Because the hardest work for some is to look over their life and see all the damage they've done, like a Tasmanian devil that has never corrected or never been corrected. And then they want to move on with life without 1 ounce of accountability. So, what do we do with people like this? You know the ones that do. So let me ask you this. Do you keep pressing them? Do you keep explaining? Let me ask you, do you step back? Do we let it go? Like, unfortunately, the answer isn't to press harder. It isn't to abandon the truth either. It's to recognize what you're actually dealing with. So a person who is constantly offended often isn't reacting to you. They're reacting to what your words move in them. Unresolved guilt, buried shame, past damage they refuse to face. You know that Tasmanian devil I spoke of a minute ago? This is where a counselor comes in handy. No coach is handling this, right? And here's the hard truth. If someone refuses accountability, refuses to look inward, and refuses help, no amount of explanation will produce growth in that person, even if it's you. At this point, offense isn't just an emotion, it has become a strategy for them, you, that may not even know. You may not even know that this is what you're doing. You believe that you're reversing the conversation by avoiding ownership. Accountability is what I call it. And for some reason, they believe they're staying in control without making any changes. Now, is that you? I hope not. This is where discernment matters. Not every conversation deserves more of the energy that you have. That can quite frankly drain the life out of you, literally. Because what happens is they will start making you believe you're the problem. Sometimes the wisest move is to step back, not because you don't see it or because it's not true, but because you see the truth. And no amount of back and forth is going to help them see it. Listen, what I'm about to say is a quote that I heard, and it's not to tear you down. Please, let's not get offended. But it was something that I heard a while back, and it was truth to me. It spoke volumes. It was life hearing. It said, "Convince a fool against his will, he will have the same opinion still." Save your breath for something else, they said, right? Because literally, if you force someone to do something, most times they will always revert back to who they are or who they were when there's no true change. So for me, when there has to be growth and healing in a particular area of my life, it required humility and ownership without an explanation or excuses. So if you're dealing with someone that chronic offense is present, then it's often a sign that neither is there. Even if you don't believe in the word of God, which I do, but if you don't, there's something telling that you cannot deny when the word warns us to be slow to offense. And there's a reasoning behind this, especially if you say you're a believer. I have several scriptures that I will drop in the description so that you can review them for yourself. So I have a quick question for us that I would like for you to put in the comments. Have you been trying to reason with someone who is actually resisting accountability? And what wisdom have you used to handle the situation? So I would love if you would do me a favor again, like what we talked about at the beginning, as I'm trying to grow my audience so that we can reach mothers all across nations. Would you please start by liking this video? And depending on where you're watching this from, subscribe or follow. And if you have not, go ahead and click that notification bell so that you don't miss any new videos and we can reach mothers all across nations. I want us to remember, we are mothers conquering together.